What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Ben. Welcome to another episode of CampingGearTV.com. Today we're doing gear reviews Skype style with our good friend Jason Elliott, blogger at Outdoor Informer. Really good, knowledgeable guy for outdoor gear. Really cool site over there. You need to go check him out for sure. But today he's going to be just chiming in with us and reviewing two pieces of gear. Is that right, Jason?
You got it, Ben. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Not a problem.
But just as you mentioned, Ben, I just had a couple pieces of gear. Wanted to kind of share with your for your viewers, and it's things that would be great for base camping, car camping, however you want to call it.
Sure.
But they have some neat technology into each piece of them. I think that's why they're both unique in a lot of ways. And the first one I wanted to mention is it's called the Steripen Sidewinder.
Sure.
And what it is, it's a well, let me give you guys a shot of it here, and it's here's a little bit of a shot. We'll get you some pictures you can put on too, show your viewers. But what it does is actually there's a handle that you crank on it, and in 90 seconds you can purify 1 liter of water. It gets rid of all the microbes, so it gets rid of bacteria, viruses, protozoas. That's including Giardia, and also, let me check my notes. There's one I never can pronounce here. It's called Cryptosporidium.
Cryptosporidium, yeah, that little booger is one you got to look out for.
Yeah, that's the one that's really, I always forget how to pronounce it, but that's the one you always got to look out for. And it does it instantaneously within 90 seconds after you crank it. And how it actually purifies the water is through ultraviolet light, which is neat in itself. And it doesn't use any batteries, so you don't ever have to worry about changing any batteries. And it purifies 8,000 liters of water, 1 liter at a time, as they say.
That's a lot of water.
Yeah, it's a lot of water. It's best used for emergency situations, just from using it and testing it out, because you have to crank. There's a crank on it that you have to go 2 revolutions per second.
Sure.
For that 90 seconds.
And so you want to show that? Will you show how that cranks?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll show you how it cranks, so you see just how it operates, and it definitely can give you a real workout, just because you have to do 2 revolutions per second.
Sure.
For a full 90 seconds. It allows you to take breaks in between. You can take breaks up to 8 seconds and continue to do it. Your best bet to do it is if you and one other person do it, you guys can take turns actually cranking it. But what they market it is for emergency situations when you don't have a reliable water source, whether it's hurricane, other natural disaster. So that's what Steripen is marketing and advertising the Sidewinder for. You can use it for base camping. If you need to purify water and you want to, save some batteries and you want to do something, so it's great for base camp. And it's not a backpacking. It's not for backpacking, so it's not a water purifier for backpacking. It's just too big.
Right. But it's actually, so to clarify, this is kind of a different process than like a regular water filter. I'm not necessarily pouring water into a filter and it's taking out all the the bad germs and stuff that's in the water, or filtering out dirt. You're literally just like shocking the water and zapping all the bad stuff that's in there out. Is that correct?
That's right. It's all done through ultraviolet light, so it's killing all those microbes through the use of ultraviolet.
Sure.
So ultraviolet's not such a bad thing overall, So.
There you go. That's a good thing, I guess. So yeah, and they do, even though that model you're saying is too big for backpacking. Steripen does have some smaller models, don't they? That you can take out with you, in a more backpacking type situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I reviewed one last year, and it's the model name's skipping my mind right now, but it's the same sort of technology they use in it. They use ultraviolet light. You essentially just, it looks like a small little magic wand. You just dip it in the water you want to purify. You keep it in there, depending on how much water it is, for an allotted amount of time, and the ultraviolet light kills all the microbes in the water. So it uses the same exact technology as the Sidewinder. There are other products, are battery operated, so you have to put batteries in it, but they work exactly the same way. And the one nice thing, it kills all the microbes. There's other purifiers out there that kill all of them, but it usually is, there's a certain time allotment you have to wait until they're all killed.
Sure.
For these it's instantaneous. So there's one other competitor on the market that you have to actually wait 4 hours until everything is, after you treat the water, till they say it's safe to drink. So this is, and in those instances, you have to plan ahead. You don't really want to plan ahead when you're thirsty. You want to, if you're water supply, you want to grab it, purify it, drink it. So.
Yeah. Plus, you're avoiding using, like a real common thing to use, I guess, is the tablets, the iodine tablets.
Yeah.
To make the water taste like, it doesn't taste very good to me, and I don't think a lot of people like that taste. And you're kind of sidestepping that process too, and you're not having to have that iodine taste in your water, essentially, if you use the Steripen then.
Yeah, it's just like having your first underage beer. You hate it at first, and you have to acquire the taste after time. Same with the iodine tablets. They're horrible at first, and you kind of just grow used to it, and in a freaky sort of way, you actually end up liking it. So.
Right. I'm not gonna lie. If I'm out on the trail, I did this over the weekend. Sometimes I'll take single serving packets of like Kool-Aid or Crystal Light, because after a while the water taste is just like bland, and you need something to like keep you going. Because you need to. If you're doing serious backpacking, or like you're saying, you're in an emergency situation where you need water, or maybe not an emergency, but you need to be getting hydrated. It definitely helps to just have a variety of flavor, just so you're not constantly drinking the same old thing over and over and over again. So, I like it. I think that's a good way to go. So,
does Gary have any questions about the Steripen Sidewinder?
He wants to know how big it is, if he can fit in the bottle, and if the Steripen can clean him.
Yeah, it can cleanse him thoroughly. Plus, the ultraviolet light will put a nice green glow to him after he's done.
He would be excited for that. Sometimes he probably needs a bath right now. You can see he's got his arm is dirty, and he hasn't been washed in a long time. So
I see he still has a bar stamp on his wrist from last night. So he probably
exactly. Yeah, he definitely makes the rounds during the nighttime. So cool. So that's a really cool product. What else you got for us today, Jason?
Well, one is actually I have it on my wrist right now. It's Suunto core, and we'll get you some photos over to get a little better shot of it. But it's kind of your all-in-one watch as far as when you're backpacking or doing anything that really involves altitude, where you have to be concerned about changing weather conditions. It has all that you expect in a watch. So it has, of course, tells the time, but it has date, chronograph, alarm, and that all the basic stuff. But then on top of it, it has an altimeter on it, which is good up to 29,500 feet.
Oh, wow.
So if you look at it from this perspective, Mount McKinley, Denali is a little over 20,000 feet in elevation. So, it can go Denali and a half, as far as elevation goes. Also, with the barometer, has a built-in barometer, so it gives, tells you changes in, as far as air pressure goes, or, and so, when a storm front's coming on. So that's important, so you can tell when a front's approaching, and you maybe need to layer up, or opposite, if it's going to get warmer, when you may have to layer down a bit. So that's the great piece of it. Also, too, it's waterproof up to 30 some feet. So it's made for snorkeling. It's not Suunto doesn't recommend it for scuba. But then but you can do some. If you're snorkeling, it's not like you have to sit on top of the water.
Sure.
You can dive down, suck in some water through your snorkel, but so it's gonna keep and it's gonna stay waterproof, and so it's a really great thing just to take as far as when you're backpacking, where you're going to be doing some major. Your elevation is going to be changing, whether rapidly or gradually, because it can tell the difference between weather changes and also from just when you're climbing and gaining elevation or declining in elevation. So with some watches that have a barometer on it and an altimeter, they can get that screwed up and you don't get very accurate readings.
Right.
Where this, it actually can accurately determine between it. And also, other thing I forgot to mention too on it, this has so many features. It has, of course, a compass on it, which you would expect.
Sure.
So it's, but yeah, definitely something that would be your kind of like your go-to piece of the gear as far as when you're backpacking and determining, how much you should take with you. If you have a base camp, maybe you're going to be doing some day hiking that day. Coming back, what you should maybe pack to take with you, or just on your to and fro where you're going to be setting your base camp up at.
Sure. Gary was also wondering with the watch, if you were to encounter a bear on the trail, does the watch have any features that would enable you to fire a laser at the bear?
No, but if you had Gary with you, Gary can handle himself with a bear, and
this is true.
I've seen his kung fu fighting in action before, and it is rather impressive.
He does. He does handle himself pretty well. So what's the price point on that watch?
They have for the Suunto Core. They actually have several models, so they range from $199 to $499. The one that I have here, it's called the Suunto Core. It's the all black model because it's all black.
Right.
It's $299.
Sure. Seems like a lot of options in a watch that was $299. I thought you were going to tell me it was the $499 model with all the stuff on it.
No, it does have a lot of options, and the other thing it is not only the options. There's a lot of them. It does them all well. A lot of times you'll see with these multi-functional watches that they're not very accurate on the altimeter, on the barometer readings, and they're always fluctuating, so you never get a real accurate reading. Where these it's steady. You're going to get an accurate and a reliable reading.
Sure, and for those who don't know, both Jason and I, and Josh for that matter, we were all at Outdoor Retailer this past January, and I remember going through, there's tons of booths there, and there's definitely a lot of people who sell watches, but Suunto, they just have, in my mind, the coolest looking watches that are out on the market. And they're just very well made, highly functional, lots of options, lots of different models out there, and lots of price points. Definitely a really high quality product, wouldn't you say so?
Absolutely. I had a chance. I've reviewed one of their other watches. That's also a heart rate computer too. And it performs excellent. I used it for training in the fall when I was doing some training for some 5Ks and 10Ks, and it's really accurate. It was fun to use and simple. A lot of these things, there's so many functions, and it makes it so you have to really study the instruction book. But this is, you set the date and time and you're ready to go. It's easy to figure out.
Yeah, that's definitely cool and definitely useful for a product to be able to be easily operable, if you're going to use it a lot. So that's always good. So, well, Jason, thanks. That sounds like two great pieces of gear. If people are wanting to get more gear reviews from you or follow you, where can they do that at?
Well, website is outdoorinformer.com. Social media wise, or on Facebook and Twitter. On Facebook, it's Outdoor Informer, 2 words, and then on Twitter, it's just all run together, Outdoor Informer. So that's where you can find me on Twitter.
And you have actually a huge collection of gear reviews on your site already, right? How many do you have?
I have about 150 that are on the site, and they're anywhere from really lightweight ultra lightweight backpacking stuff to recreational gear to just lifestyle pieces. So it's a whole range of things. I mean, we kind of gear it to somebody that's from anywhere from just a weekend warrior to somebody that's really dedicated. There's gear there for anybody's taste and recreational use. So
definitely. So a lot of good reading to do on the site, and you got guest bloggers that come in and do stuff too.
Absolutely. Mr. Josh Turner did a guest appearance last week. He did a review of a Pelican flashlight. It started running on March 1st. It's on our site still, of course. It'll be there forever. But he did a review, and this whole month of March, what we're doing is we're having 5 guest bloggers. As I mentioned, Josh being one of them, that are coming on and doing guest reviews. And the great thing about outdoor blogging community, there is a lot of great blogs out there. So just gives a chance for everybody to showcase their site and their talents. So it's going to be something that's going to be a lot of really great information from some really talented people.
That's awesome. So, well, again, Jason, thanks for coming on. Everybody, make sure you go check out Outdoor Informer. There's some great gear reviews over there as well, like he was saying, and some other great guest bloggers that are also throwing in their 2 cents over there. Jason, I'm sure we'll talk again and maybe do some other gear reviews in the future. But until then, he's Jason. I'm Ben. This is Gary. We're CampingGearTV.com.